Oh gosh, you're putting me on the spot. I guess I'm going to go with what I said earlier. Joey Logano. He's going to come back from a not so good race at Phoenix and end up in victory lane in Vegas.
Kelly?
Christopher Bell.
Oh, 4 in a row for Bell. All the action will be on PRN. We'll talk to you next week on the Pit Reporters.
Join us again next week for the Pit Reporters on PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
From the Hertine and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Hertine and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to Molly Suter and the other girl.
Yay!
For the first time in like 6 weeks.
I know. I hope everyone hasn't forgotten.
Oh, I don't know.
Probably.
Maybe we'll have a whole new audience. Right. We're starting a little bit late tonight just because we had to get the NASCAR show in, and that ran late because Mike O'Mara ran late. I'll tell you, the Mike O'Mara show is only supposed to be about 90 minutes long, but lately it's been like 100 to 102 minutes long, and it messes up the timing of the other shows. And I understand they're a podcast, and they can make the episodes as long as they want, but
they are not Game of Thrones. They can't just go whatever time frame they want.
I don't think they really keep us in mind when they not film, record their podcasts. So, hello, if you're listening to us the old-fashioned way on your radio, maybe on the app, maybe in the YouTube chat room. You can also see us live in the studios. That's the mighty 1630 KCJJ on YouTube. I will say, if you're listening to us on the app and for whatever reason want to use the group chat function, we no longer have that because it was like a bandwidth issue. I'm not sure. We might have it again, like when we figure out how to navigate that. But for now, we don't have that anymore, and that's okay because I forgot it was there, and I don't like monitoring two group chats.
It was hard to go back and forth.
No, it was. And I was talking to Tommy today, and he also forgot that it existed sometimes. And the only person who ever used it was, for our purposes, was our friend Elvis.
Got it.
And
that's what I thought too, yeah.
He's just going to have to get over that and log into YouTube and stop being lazy.
I'm trying to post our link of...
Oh, yeah?
But then I misspelled a word, so...
What word?
I said on live.
Yeah.
I wanted to say on live now, but I think it went on live 1 or something like that. My autocorrect thinks it's smarter than I am.
Mine too.
And it is, probably, but it doesn't always guess what word. And I don't know how to turn it off.
When I got this phone, which is not new anymore, but was in 2023, so almost 2 years ago, I don't know what it is about this particular model of phone. The autocorrect is atrocious.
It's atrocious on every phone.
No, but the phone I had before this, like, it was normal. I feel like it was a moderate amount of autocorrect, but this one, it corrects every single word I do, pretty much. And I'm just like, no, I'm not saying that. In what world would I say that?
Right.
You know? Or, like, when you want to, like, spell something and you don't know how to spell it, it does nothing. It only wants to correct something that you wanted to say.
Yeah, it switched the last word, and that's happened to me a couple times when I send a text. I'm like, I don't even know what I was trying to say, but that was not the word I wanted to use.
No, exactly.
I go too quick. But also, I don't want to turn it off because it does come in handy every once in a while.
Like, one time I was talking about pins, and it autocorrected to pineapples. And I'm like, when have I ever typed pineapples?
I just need to
Samsung?
use voice to text more. I think that would be more efficient.
Actually,
but then that doesn't always work
It's not,
either.
though, because I guess with our accent, like, or the way that we string words together, it sounds like a completely different word. And maybe it's just a me problem. It has no idea what I'm trying to say.
I mean, usually I have to remember to look at it before I send.
Mm-hmm.
But then also sometimes I'll have it, because I always search with voice. Like I'll put I'll say into, because I hate typing what I'm looking for into Google search, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But sometimes I forget, like I forget that it's on, and it'll just start like typing what's on the TV into a text, and I'm like, no, stop.
Wait, that's happened to me before. My sister and I, we watched a lot of shows when we were home. We didn't go anywhere else other than home and work for 13 months during the first part of the pandemic in 2020 and 2021.
Sure.
And so we watched a lot of shows, and we were rewatching one of our favorites from childhood, Phil of the Future. It was on Disney Channel.
I remember that show a little bit.
And so there's Phil's dad is named Lloyd, and so for some reason our phone was like listening, and it caught, "It's your fault, Lloyd." And then we looked back at our phone, and it caught only that little bit of dialogue, and so it was just like Google Assistant said, "It's your fault, Lloyd," on the display, and I'm like, what? We didn't know what it was for a second, and then we figured out that it was from the show, but we were like, what?
I almost sent a text one time. I was walking, and I had the dog with me, and I was doing a voice to text, and then the dog did something, I don't know. I'm like, "Moose!" And I'm like yelling at him, like to get back, and probably cursing. And then I looked down at my phone. I'm like, "Oh, I better not send that." You just took everything.
My God. Yeah, it's like sometimes it trips up without.
Yeah, I mean, I love technology, but
and I also know
just too old to use it. I think at this point.
I also know that the apps are definitely listening to you.
And I don't care. I don't have anything important going on.
I don't care enough about it to, like, get rid of the phone. Mm-hmm. But, like, it is kind of creepy when...
I know, but it's helpful.
But
I was looking for a steamer, like, to clean, and my phone is showing me all the steamers.
No, and then my phone is going to show me steamers now, too.
Yeah, jokingly, like, at work, my coworker and I will talk about, like, TikToks that we've seen. She's like, "Oh, have you seen such and such?" And I'm like, "Just say it into my phone."
And then I'll see it. Yeah.
I don't care. It's kind of like if somebody wants to steal my identity.
Oh,
have more fun. You'll probably have more fun with it than I will.
I feel like that would be, like, really stressful, though.
It would be. I mean, I say it as a joke, but, like, also, what are you going to do with my identity? Like,
yeah, like,
I don't have any money.
Yeah, have fun.
My credit is okay, but it's not, like, worth stealing. Go steal somebody else's credit. It's, like, a lot better.
Right.
I don't recommend stealing my identity.
No, I don't recommend stealing anyone's identity. Yes. Actually, kids, if you're listening. Do we have kids listen to us?
My kids don't even listen.
I know that. I think that's funny.
But they know I come, so.
Yes. And they're supportive, right?
They're supportive, yes.
Okay, good.
They're not like, "Mom, why do you keep doing that?"
Oh, no. That would be... They would have no reason to do that.
Right.
All right, well... apparently 3 watching. Please join the chat.
So it's you, me, and somebody else.
Oh. Who?
Well, I'm on there.
It might be Steve. Steve listens sometimes.
Is he recovering well?
Yes.
Good.
I know he's still in some pain, but he has returned to work at least a few days this week, which is why you're able to be here. And I think next week for Thursday is a go-to if you want to come back.
Okay.
Yay! Okay.
I've absolutely got nothing else to do, so.
Awesome. So, I'm not sure if I told you this or not, or when this happened in relation to this show being on the air, but I did get TikTok back. It was like maybe a month ago.
You were off of it?
Yeah, yeah. Because remember when it like shut down, and I say that with quotes, shut down for like 13 hours. Like
Did you delete the app?
I deleted.
Oh, Molly!
I deleted the app because
Molly.
I thought it was going to become unusable, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna like quit while we're ahead, you know. But
The one
no.
time you don't procrastinate.
And then it was back 13
Yeah.
hours later, and I couldn't re-download it, and so I was just on Instagram Reels for a month, which is fine. Like, it scratched the itch a little bit, like, for scrolling, but it's not the same. The algorithm's not the same. The content's not the same. I mean, I did follow my favorite creators on TikTok on Instagram, but like
I liked
the
Red Note.
algorithm doesn't take you back to like
Right.
your favorites.
I liked Red Note when I was like the 15 minutes we didn't have it.
Yeah.
It seems so silly, but
It was fun.
But the one thing I learned, Facebook is not my place anymore.
Oh yeah.
And I say that as someone who is a daily
Facebook user, yeah.
for 15 years.
Do you know, I have 2 other friends who deactivated just because they're like, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, it's like I think I talked to you about this before. Like every time I get on Facebook, it's just people complaining about self-checkouts. That's literally
Really?
all I see.
Never seen that.
And of course, my daughter points out, she's like, yeah, but they're all people that are like older. And I'm like, yeah, my age. There's a bunch of old, cranky people on there that are my age.
So you just want to follow younger people.
And I don't, I consider myself old and cranky, but I like to think I've got a little bit of a young spark. And
You
I don't
do.
really want to be.
That's why
you
you're
know,
doing this show with someone
Yeah.
younger than
Exactly.
you.
I can
Like,
get along with the young kids.
Yeah, you're down with the kids.
I know all the kid
Except
stuff,
I'm not a kid, but
but you're younger.
Yes.
And I can, I always tell my kids, I'm like, hey, do you know who Dochi is? Because I do. I'm cool.
Dochi is cool.
I love Dochi.
I like Dochi.
And my new obsession is Baby No Money. Do you know who that is?
No.
He has done like 90% of the TikTok songs that you hear.
Oh yeah.
He's the one that does the song starts out with him saying, "Oh, I think I forgot the melody." Da 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 da. Have you heard that one?
No.
Okay, I'm going to send you a couple because
Just
as I'm
say
listening,
it into my
he goes by it's BB No and then $.
BB no $.
And
Okay.
he's all over my FYP right now.
See, I have never heard of him. What I love about these like little TikTok debriefs that we do is that we have opposite FYPs.
I mean, we connect in the important ways.
Yeah.
Like we're not on the bad side.
Oh no.
We're on the fun.
No, but
like,
you have like a more bizarre.
I have a
one
very
than
weird
me.
FYP, and I'm very proud of it. I am very proud of
You
it.
should be.
Do you know what I
should.
discovered this week?
What?
There is synchronized skiing,
Ooh. Okay.
and it's amazing. People just go down the hill and they synchronize, and it looks
That's
really
an-
cool. Like they crisscross, and
It's a no from me, dog. But
but to watch it is amazing.
yeah, that seems like really cool. I want you to send me these. I want you to.
I will. I will.
Like, lately, I've been on, like, I guess the educational side of TikTok. Like, I've been learning a lot about various expeditions to Mount Everest because I recently read a book about an ascent to Mount Everest, the summit. And I guess TikTok knew that. Don't know why it knew that.
I'm fascinated by
But-
the people that have died on there. The bodies are still up there.
Oh my gosh, my friend sent me so funny. My friend sent me this picture of I think George Mallory, who originally attempted the summit in like 1921, and he and his Sherpa like just completely disappeared. And so it was a mystery for almost 100 years what happened to him, and somebody found him in 1999 and took a picture, and his body looks crazy.
Is it like just frozen?
It's frozen. It's like, I mean, I think he was probably a white guy anyway, but like the skin is pale white, and like not all of the clothes, but like a lot of the clothes has been like, I get not disintegrated, but like it's not there anymore. It's not there anymore. And so his butt is caved in.
Well, because that's where all the fat was. He probably just there's no more fat left to it, right?
Oh, was that what happened? I don't know.
There's nothing on your butt except for fat.
But I saw this image and I'm just like, oh my god, his butt is just out and caved in. And like you can see his hand. It was crazy. Oh, it was crazy. I'll send you the picture if you want.
I don't know if I want to see that. I love gory, like,
it's not even
murder
gory.
stuff, but I don't really like looking at the pictures of it.
It's not even gory. It's just, it was weird.
I like to imagine.
And I'm sure I painted you a really
You did,
nice
yes.
picture.
Although I am kind of curious as to see what a frozen body looks like, but
it looks like it doesn't even look that frozen. It looks like, I mean, he was laying down on his front. And so it looks like he just fell asleep there. And other than the caved in butt and like the weird hand you can see, like it looks like he's just chilling. It's crazy. Yeah, I will never ever climb Everest. It seems, and what I learned that now that it's so famous, like getting to the top is, I guess, an experience a lot of people want.
Mm-hmm.
But like the logistics of it is
well, you need oxygen, you need the food, you need all this stuff, and you can't do it all in one shot,
yes.
obviously. But like, and then you need to like hire these poor people that's their job.
And you need to just drop trow and poop on the mountain.
Well,
and so the mountain is full of poop. It's full of poop. And like when you're ascending, you just have to drop trow in front of people and poop in front of them.
I just would never poop. I wouldn't poop for those 2 or 3 weeks.
You have to be there for a month, Cindy.
I could do it.
You could what? I cannot. No. Oh my god. I would never.
Because
I would never do this.
It's also cold too.
You have to pay like $70,000.
It's a lot of money, yeah.
It's a lot of money to like be miserable and potentially die and poop in front of people.
Well, okay, so then maybe you don't want to join me on what I've decided to plan.
Oh, what?
I think I'm finally coming out of my funk, and I've decided to plan a trip for the kids and I.
Oh, yeah?
And part of it is going to be we're eventually going to make it to Tucson, Arizona, where my daughter's friend lives. Mm-hmm. But there is a stop on the way in Manitou, Colorado. Mm-hmm. Originally, what I really want to do is see the cliff dwelling things, where they carved out homes in like
I've seen that.
The side of a cliff.
I don't remember what it's called, but I have seen that.
I kind of hyper focused on that for several months a few years ago and never ever got around to making the trip. But also there is Manitou Incline, which is a hike up a mountain hill, over 2,700 steps. It takes approximately about 3 hours for the average person to go up.
Wait, so you literally go up steps?
And if you look it up and look at the pictures, it's literally just a straight line up this in the middle of a forest hill thing.
So that's one hell of a leg workout. But yeah, I think I'm gonna pass.
It's on average, it's about 185 flights of stairs, the equivalent.
And you want to do that?
I think I need something to get inspired by. I need something to focus on. I need to get better physically fit.
Right. So you have to train for it.
So 6 months, I think it's doable. I don't know. Yeah. I'm starting with just 2 flights of stairs every day. I'm going to walk up 2 flights of stairs every day at work.
Okay, and just keep
and then once I get to the 2 flights where I'm not at the top of the steps, I'm going to add a couple flights. And then I'm also going to walk at lunch for about at least 15 minutes at lunch is my original baby step goal. And then we'll just work up from there.
Okay, yeah, sounds great.
I'm excited.
Sounds like an admiral goal.
But I tell you what, if I get up there and the picture's not good, I'm going to be mad.
If you're just all puffy, red in the face.
And also, this would be a good, motivator. Apparently, people climb it and don't quite make it. And
me.
Fire rescue has to come out and get them.
No, that would be so
because you can't walk down them. I don't think they let you walk down the stairs.
Wait, so what?
So you walk up
So
the
you walk up.
stairs, and then there's like a meandering like
Slide
trail
down.
that goes down it. So the way down is probably easier. But I can imagine after your legs are all jello from walking up 2,700 steps.
Fire rescue. Oh my god, that would be so embarrassing.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that dune area where it's like a big
Yes.
okay.
Yes. I know
And they always
exactly
warn
what you're
you,
talking about.
It costs $3,500 or something like that to get rescued.
Yeah, it's like, do not climb down this if you cannot climb back up.
I would.
Yeah, it's a dune in like Michigan or something.
And it's like straight. I mean, it looks like it's straight down.
Straight
Yeah.
down. Yeah. I would just roll down.
And if you, well, yeah, but getting up, like the
Yeah.
sand keeps
No,
moving.
literally, I cannot walk in sand anyway. No, I would never go down that dune.
I can barely walk on a sidewalk. I tripped today too. And speaking of which, my very first day of training, I'm walking back from downtown, and my foot just kind of hit the edge of the sidewalk wrong, and I just went completely down. I got a nice little scraped knee. No. It was a little iffy for about a block of walking. I'm like, oh my god, I think I really hurt my ankle. Well, I walked it off and it was fine. But
my
we'll
God.
see if it swells up tomorrow. But I'm like, okay, this is like my little warning. My body's saying, okay, we're going to do this, but you got to be slow. You got to be careful.
For my trip to the UK last summer, for both Edinburgh and the Eras Tour, because I wanted to be able to like dance and sing and whatever for the full 3-hour show, and so like for months and months, pretty much starting in January, February, we had a pretty mild winter last winter, if you remember, like apart from those 2 weeks. But after those 2 weeks, it was pretty mild. And so, like, from February up until I went, I was, like, walking pretty much every day. I was trying to eat more balanced than I usually do. I was trying to get into shape so I could, dance for 3 hours at the Eras Tour. But also, it really helped me climb up all of those hills in Edinburgh, because the entire city
Is walking.
is a series of hills, and I took 26,000 steps both days I was there.
That's just 100 less than the steps that you would have to take.
Okay, but that was over 2 days.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if they let you nap on the way up. We'll see.
If you can nap standing, maybe.
And I have to also keep in mind that it is at different altitude. Like last time I went to Colorado,
oh my gosh,
I was sick for 2 days.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah, you have to chug water when you're in Denver.
I must have had altitude sickness because I was like headache and not feeling good for 2 days.
I had
when we got there.
I had altitude sickness when I went to visit my family in 2015, and I felt so miserable. Each time I've been back since, I've been back I think maybe 2 or 3 times, I have made sure that I have a glass of water with me at all times, or a water bottle with me at all times. If I'm sleeping, I have a water bottle right next to me. And so,
prevents it?
Yes.
Okay.
You have to
Good to
just
know.
be
Okay.
you have to be hydrated more than you have ever been hydrated before,
Okay,
because like
that's
it just
good to know.
it just sucks all of the water out of you, like being so high up, because you have to like breathe like more
Yeah.
than you usually do because you're not used to the altitude. So Amy got sick the last time we were there for the Sabrina Carpenter concert, like almost 2 years ago. And yeah, she was miserable.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It's really not. And so I'm like, Amy, you need to be. I was trying so hard to keep her drinking water throughout the whole trip because she only got sick the last day. And I'm like, please, Amy, you have to keep drinking water, keep drinking water. And she's like, I will. I just blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, you have to keep drinking water, and you're gonna get sick. And I'm not gonna say I told you so because that's annoying, but it's gonna be an I told you so moment. And I was right.
Yep.
I told her so. Learn from my experience. And please, listeners, learn from my experience. If you ever go to Denver or anywhere in Colorado, really, please drink water.
I have already learned, and I'm making a mental note.
And drink more than you think.
Well,
you
I
need.
always drink a lot of water anyway, but
Actually don't. I only really am good about drinking water here because I have this really big water bottle in my car, and it lives in my car, and so I just like take it into work with me, and I don't take it upstairs to my apartment with me.
I always have something like this with me, almost always.
Oh, a Stanley.
Yeah.
Well, knock off
It's not a
Stanley.
Stanley, no, but it keeps I always have something to drink.
I've really figured out the hack is to just get cool stickers, and so you can put it on your water bottle. Like, I just have one that my friend Eleanor gave me with a bunch of kittens and flowers and butterflies on it, and it says, "You passed the vibe check."
Oh, cute.
And I'm like, awesome.
I do love a good sticker.
She gave it to me for my birthday last year.
Cute.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I have Sue the T-Rex from when I went to Chicago. I have a table-to-table one. I have an I Voted sticker. I have several Taylor Swift lyric ones. I have one, I have a ghost listening to music on his headphones.
See, when you said you were talking about training for the Taylor Swift concert, I thought you were going to say that you just played the concert for 3 hours. Because isn't that how she trained? She would go on the treadmill and then just treadmill throughout all of her songs.
I don't think it's like, I don't think that's it, though. Like, I need a complete Eras tour. Like, what did she do for her workouts? Because it's not, it can't just be cardio. There has to be something else.
I'm sure
right?
she does other stuff, but like to cardio and sing at the same time. That would be...
Yeah, that's crazy.
If she can sing while she's on the treadmill for 3 hours straight, she's good to go, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and she was, I think the only, like, illness she had, like, while on tour, like, those full almost 2 years, was, like, the sniffles a couple of times.
I just assume that she gets all of the IV infusion stuff.
She might.
People, all the rich people do.
Yeah, she might.
I'm guessing that's what she does.
Because, like, she did not cancel. Oh, no, she canceled a few concerts, but that was just in Vienna because of the terrorist attack that was planned. That's not sickness. That's not illness. She never canceled one for illness.
Good for her.
Which is a feat, because sometimes artists have to do that because they're human.
Well, they're human, and it's draining to be on.
Mm-hmm.
But
to be on tour,
I feel like she has good people.
Yeah.
That don't push her any harder than she needs to be pushed.
I think she pushes herself.
Yeah, but I think she has good people.
hard.
And that's the main difference between her and like someone like Britney Spears. You know, you have a good base to trust.
You have people like looking out for your well-being.
Not to slam Britney, but
no,
I think
we're slamming Britney's like family
and her
the people
management
who did
and all
not
that stuff.
help her. Yeah, not Britney herself.
No,
she's doing great.
Leave Britney alone.
Leave Britney alone.
Well, actually, somebody needs to check in on her every so often.
She's earned it.
I know, but she needs to have somebody in her corner.
She was so micromanaged for so many years. Like, she's gonna turn out a little wacky just because of like all of the bad stuff that has happened to her throughout her life. Like, she was on the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, whatever, when she was 11 years old. Like, that's so young. So she's been performing probably even before that, like, locally forever, since she was a kid. So she's gonna be a little kooky. I think we're gonna have to let that go. She can be a little weird. She can be a little kooky.
I want to be your mother and take care of her.
Right.
Brittany, if you're listening, you can come stay with me. I'll clean up my spare room.
She is not listening, but yes. Please take her up on it, Brittany. Come on the show, Brittany.
Yeah. Yes, queen.
Molly Suter and the other girl and Britney Spears. No,
we might have to give her top billing.
Britney Spears and those two other girls.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So we got through the TikTok blackout of 2025.
We
haven't talked since then.
It was 13 hours for you, and it was a month for me. But I really thought I was going to be like better when I got it too. I'm like, I'm not going to be on it for hours.
I'm on it 10 times longer. But,
No, I think it's around the same. I don't think it's longer, but it's around the same. So yeah, I was totally kidding myself of being like, I'm going to have a healthier relationship with it.
Well, I'm just like I'm not masking anymore.
Right.
So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I don't care. Mm-hmm. It's like everything else in my life. I overdo it for a while and then I get bored of it and move on to the next thing.
Oh, speaking of, Sometimes we talk about how you embark on these, like, crafting journeys,
Yes.
stick with it for a little while, and then ultimately, like, put it to bed. I mentioned offhand how maybe 3 weeks, a month ago, that I had a passive interest in to learn to sew again, because I did when I was 13, maybe for 6 months, and then stopped. But I was like, yeah, I kind of want to make my own clothes. I kind of want that skill. I was just kind of musing about it, and then I get a call from a listener, and he's like, I could probably find a free one for you. And I'm like, okay, yeah, if you find a free one for me, like, absolutely. And so he keeps calling back, and he's like, I found one. Can I drop it off? I'm like, sure. And so he drops this free sewing machine off.
Have you set it up?
No, because I don't have a table. I don't have, like, a crafting table. I have my coffee table.
Use your kitchen table. Do you have a kitchen table?
I don't have a kitchen table. I don't eat at the kitchen.
I'm trying to think if I have any tables at home.
I eat in front of the TV on my couch, on my coffee table.
Get yourself a cheap... Go to Goodwill or something and get a cheap, like, card table.
A family friend is giving me her table, so I will have a table soon that I will be using for crafts and not eating, because I do not eat at a kitchen table where there's not a screen. I'm like a medieval king. I must be entertained while I
My
feast.
advice is set it up in a room where you have a TV so you can watch TV.
Yeah, it's going in my living room. I have to figure out, like, where I'm gonna configure it so I can see the TV.
And then the game changer for me when I was sewing quite a bit was getting a table. Like, I had a kitchen table I wasn't using. It was like a big, a large one. I moved it to, like, my sewing area, and then I put a big cutting board on it, and I used that to cut out my patterns instead of going on the floor.
Oh,
because for me, even 15 years ago, it was hard to get up and down off the floor. Just because I was not 20 anymore. But
yeah, I mean, it's not easy for me to get off the floor
so
anymore.
if you can find a way, or I don't know what kind. I mean, if you're making clothes, you're going to have an area to lay out your fabric to do that. I'm excited for your journey.
I don't know how far I will get into it, because, again, it was a passive interest, and then the listener just kind of jumped on it.
You can have a sewing machine for decades without using it and still be a sewer.
Really?
I think so.
Okay.
I've decided that.
Do you have any lingering supplies that you could
I would have to dig in
bestow
and
upon
find,
me?
but I got rid of most of them.
I'm waiting for the Joanne liquidation sale to be better than
It's
it is.
40% now.
I would still like it to be higher.
They had quite a bit of fabric left when I went in, like last week or the week before. They had quite a bit of fabric.
Another thing I want to do is, like, when I get up to the point where I can make my own clothes, like, I want to go to, like, Goodwill and stuff and like, find secondhand fabric there, or just, like, bed sheets or whatever.
I love seeing people that take the bed sheets and turn them into something else. That's my favorite thing ever. Or, like, curtains and stuff.
Yeah,
it's just that I could never figure out, like, there's, like, a grain to the fabric. So there's, like, a crosswise and a lengthwise, and, like, you have to be careful of the grain depending on what you're making. Yeah. And I never quite understood it. But then, like, the clothes that I'm wearing are not, like, heavy. You know, like, if I make a dress, I'm not going to be wearing it every single day.
No.
To the point where things are going to stretch out of order, if that makes sense.
Right.
But that was the one, like, the science of sewing kind of eluded me. So I just kind of put things together and hope for the best.
What was the easiest thing to make, like, in terms of garments?
Skirts.
Well.
And dresses, quite frankly.
Well, because it's just like a skirt, but extended.
Yeah. I had a pattern that I actually, back in high school, early college, I had a pattern that I made multiple times because I made it in every holiday fabric.
Ooh.
And it was just a pullover dress.
Yeah.
It had kind of like a little, like, kind of cap sleeve kind of. And you could make it short sleeve or long sleeves. Oh, it wasn't. I mean, cap is the wrong way. Had a little bit of ruffle to it, like a little bit of puff to it. This is 90s, late 80s. And I made up both short sleeves and long sleeves. And I made it oversized, so it was like nice and roomy and fun. But I had like a Christmas one. One night, I wanted to go to a Halloween get together, and I didn't have an outfit, so I literally just made a dress that night to go out.
I love that. That's fun.
Those are fun days. I do want to start sewing again, but
Yeah, I wanna do that.
I'm still
But
hanging on to crochet for a while.
The
but
thing is, and I was talking to Amy about this too, like, in terms of hobbies, I put the cart before the horse every time.
Yeah.
Like, during the first part of the pandemic, I'm like, I'm going to learn how to play the keyboard. So I got this, like, cute little cheap keyboard from Walmart, and I still have it. And so I was teaching myself, like, chords and whatever. I was doing ukulele too. I got pretty good at the ukulele and then stopped because, you know, you just stop.
Yeah.
And the keyboard, I never got quite as far. Because you have to be kind of coordinated with, like, two-hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't do that. But yeah, with every hobby, pretty much it's just the cart before the horse.
I have always done that. I've always gone out and gotten. I still have my sewing dummy though. The dress
the
dummy.
mannequin?
Yeah, I don't want to get rid of that because if I ever do get back into it, it comes in handy. Although
you can
I
also, like,
think
put
it's the
stuff on it for, like Halloween, or
could.
it could be Christmas. It could be Santa for Christmas, or
I
like
could. But
yeah.
at this point, I probably need a bigger one. So, which is sad, but it is what it is.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. Life happens.
But I had gotten a lot of all the toys and stuff when I was sewing, and now with like when I was doing the crochet, I haven't crocheted in a couple of weeks now because I don't want to let go of it quite yet.
I feel like that would exacerbate my carpal tunnel if I did that.
My wrist was hurting a little
Yeah.
bit. So I set it down for a while, and then the project I started was not going the way I wanted it to, and so I got a little annoyed, and I'm like, I'll just come back to it, and I just never have. I will. Because it's the easiest, cheapest hobby I've ever had,
Yeah.
besides reading.
Oh yeah, I love reading. Reading is so cheap too.
Yeah.
It's especially in this community. I've said this before, but like reading is so easy because we have a million free little libraries, and like some of them are not fantastic because like it depends on the neighborhood and what kind of readers exist in the neighborhood. Because I've gone to one before where a lot of it is just like religious books, like Jesus Saves and blah 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 blah. Which is not my cup of tea. If it's yours, like absolutely more power to you. But I've been to some others that are just like chock full of like current fiction and or like stuff that was really popular like 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And so it's just really easy.
The library's pretty good too.
The actual library is really good. I have several apps for ebooks, Libby and Hoopla. You could get audiobooks off Libby as well. And those work as long as you have a library card. So, yeah, it's really easy to read in this community. And you don't have to pay $25 a book.
Right.
Even though we like to still support brick and mortar stores, but like, not for everything. Because that would be an expensive hobby if you just bought every book you read. But I don't.
It takes up so much room too.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, most of the books in my bookshelf are books that I have yet to read. Like when I read a book, usually I'll pass it off to my mom, or I'll put it in a little free library, or if there's like a book drive going on.
I can't even remember the last time I read a real book, like a book,
like a physical book.
Yeah. I can't even remember the last.
Yeah,
I have a, like I was trying.
I'm reading one right now, a physical one.
Good for you.
Yes. My mom gave me this one for
Christmas.
Christmas.
Don't remember to bring it with me. And for a longest time, I wasn't carrying a purse with me. Now I've got a big purse. I could probably put one in there. But
no, that's so fair because like sometimes if you're like at a restaurant waiting for someone and they're really late, like you can just pull up your app,
right,
and just like start reading it,
right,
on your app, and you don't have to take out.
And you
this
never lose your
physical.
place.
Yeah, exactly.
Never lose.
I love reading.
Bookmark. I have been audiobook more.
I know you're an audiobook queen, and I do love audiobooks as well because I have Spotify Premium, and you'll get 15 free hours of audiobooks every month.
I've
with
maxed
Premium.
it out once or twice. But
I have maxed it out once or twice. Usually I stick to once a month because I'm usually reading like a physical book too. So my audiobook will be like what I listen to in the car for a couple of weeks or a couple of days, depending on the length of the book or the lengths of my journeys.
I've got my part-time job. I have a couple of job sites where I have to I don't have to be involved, but I have to kind of be aware of what's going on, if that makes sense. So having something in my ear, listening to it, keeping my brain entertained, I can just kind of observe what's going on and jump in when I need, and I don't look like I'm just scrolling through my phone constantly.
Right, exactly. Because that's another thing. You could just be reading, and it looks like you're just on your phone.
I could be reading a very intelligent book, or I could be looking at porn. You don't know.
Yes, you don't know.
But most people assume I'm looking at porn or something, so they assume the worst. In reality, what I'm doing is probably playing my game, is what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah? What game?
I'm, right now, the two I fluctuate between is Township and Travel Town, which are two...
Are those like Town of Salem?
I haven't played that, but it's basically you just go around and feed your your
never
cows.
Mind. So like Farmville and stuff like that.
It's the township is very much like Farmville, but it's got a lot of little mini games in it. So it really.
Amy loves, I think, Farm Simulator.
I'll have to look that one up. I'm looking for one that the game that I'm in now. Every once in a while, to get to a little treat, you have to do this little mini game. And the mini game is what I want to play all the time.
Yeah.
And it's a game where you go from you're a farm stand and you have to get the eggs from the chickens and then bring the eggs over to the people and sell it. And then you get money and then you take that money and you get more farm stuff. Does that make sense? You upgrade. And it's such a cute game and it just seems very engaging, but it's only a 30 seconds of this whole thing and I cannot find it. A whole game of that.
Oh, that's
so if anyone knows of a game that sounds like that, send the link to me because I want to play just that game.
Or you can call us up at 319-358-1630 if you have any comments or questions about whatever we've been talking about this hour. Please.
To combine books and crafts, have you seen the people that take every book that they read, they make a little mini book and put it in a little mini
I've seen I haven't seen the process of them doing that. I've seen the finished product of the little books in the jars or whatever. Have you seen but the people who take a book and rip off the cover and they make their own covers?
I have seen some of that, and then I've also seen where they take the edges of the book.
Oh, spray them?
And spray them and do designs
little
and stuff
stencils,
on it.
yeah.
And sometimes if you twist the pages, bend the pages a little bit, you can see a different picture on the.
Oh,
does that
cool.
make sense? They really get involved in.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah, that is fun.
Yeah, I've seen the sprayed edges at Barnes and Noble too. I think that's really cool, but you would have to display your books page first and not spine first. And I feel like that's interesting. That's something I wouldn't do just because the point of the spines is to display it but also protect the book. And I feel like if you had the pages the sprayed edges,
yeah, but do people do that in their house?
Yes, I've seen.
Okay.
I've seen it on TikTok, and I'm just but you're exposing the pages to the elements.
True, that is true.
And the whole point of the cover is to protect the book,
and you know what it is,
right? I mean, for Fourth Wing and stuff like that, the sprayed edges are dragons, and so you could probably infer what it is based on that. But yeah, if it's just dainty little designs, how are you gonna know what it is?
And I, of course, am at the thought of why are you keeping a book after you've read it? But
I feel
but I understand some people read the same book over and over again.
Do you know? I have one series, my favorite YA series I loved when I was in middle school and high school. Those books I keep, and so I think on my reading journey, if I ever read a physical book that I just, like, love, I would probably keep. But my most favorite books that I've read in the past 2 years that I've been reading again have been ebooks.
Yeah, same.
And so I can't keep them because they're ebooks.
And I don't even keep track of mine anymore on Goodreads.
I deactivated my Goodreads just because I didn't realize they were Amazon owned, and I feel like I don't need to be supporting Amazon totally, you know? So I've switched to Storygraph, which is like an indie version of Goodreads. I don't know if I love it as much just because I don't think you can comment on people's, like, reads. You can like them.
I had never really got into the interactive part of it. I just like to be able to keep track of what I...
But the stats are better on Storygraph. Like, it gives you a little more insight of, the analytics of your reading habits.
I guess I just don't finish as many books as I used to, so...
Oh, yeah, that's another thing I want to do. Like, sometimes I stick with a book even if I'm not loving it because I'm like, oh, I hate not finishing books. But also, like, if you're just trudging through a book that you hate, like, that's just time wasted from a book you could love, you know?
Yeah.
So I want to get better about, like, putting the book down and not finishing it if I don't love it, you know? Yeah.
I did finish the last couple books I read. I went through that history phase, which I'm still going back and forth on, but I discovered that the FBI and the psychiatric nurse that were sort of instrumental in starting the whole serial killer profiling like art that we know today, they have all written books, multiple books.
Ooh.
And so I recently finished the book that Anne, I cannot remember her last name, but she was the one that was like the nurse that was, I don't know if you ever watched Mindhunter.
No.
It was based on that story, but there was a woman involved.
I saw Captain Steve's voice cameo.
That's true.
And that
he
was it. And that was it.
That is true.
I watched episode 1,
about that,
and that was it.
It's based on that story. It's embellished greatly. But if you want to read some good, scary, like, crime stuff, I highly recommend.
Noted.
And she gives details of some of the crimes that I'm still kind of like, oh, there's really horrible people out there in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that, but it's just interesting to, like, listen to like a learned person talking in
learned.
a very,
I like that word.
a very, like, kind of clinical
person.
but interesting way.
That's what I want people to think of me whenever they look at my Goodreads or Storygraph. Like, that is a learned woman right
They
there.
won't think of that with me.
Learned.
I've read way too many Anita Blake books and True Blood and all those.
I love True Blood.
Back in the day.
Oh, speaking of True Blood, I've been rewatching it because, when you told me, I should watch What We Do in the Shadows because...
Did you get to the part?
I know. No, I didn't.
Oh, shoot.
Not yet. No, because I was waiting for it, and then I'm like, how about I just rewatch True Blood? And so I did, because I'm like, I'm waiting to see Alexander Skarsgård. Why not watch the show Alexander Skarsgård is in? I can get more of that. And so, but I forgot how much I loved Sookie's wardrobe in season 1 and 2, and so...
Wasn't it just sundresses?
Yes.
Okay.
I love sundresses. And so I'm like, but specifically the patterns that she had. And so I'm like, if I learned how to sew my own clothes, I could make my own sundresses like Sookie has.
I think sundresses would be very easy to make.
Probably, yeah. Well, that's what I told my delusional self when I'm like, that doesn't look too hard.
And I will say, the one thing that I always tended to do when I was picking out fabrics, I like flowers anyway. I like florals.
Yeah.
But florals, you don't have to match.
Yes, let's go.
That's the trick that my mother taught me years ago. She's like, I never liked sewing like striped fabric.
Oh, yeah.
Because you kind of have to match it up or it looks really bad.
Yeah.
But like flowers, like no one's going to notice if
it's just
completely off.
Willy-nilly flowers, yeah. The thing is, though, that I do have to keep reminding myself, Anna Paquin is a lot thinner than I am, and so it's going to look different. But I still do love a sundress.
Right.
And so that's another thing. I have to learn how to, like, sew within my proportions. That's something I learned when I was 13, but it's been a while, so I don't remember it.
That's the thing when I first started sewing again, the last time I was sewing, which is like I was 40 probably.
Mm-hmm.
I told myself I'm not doing clothes because every time I go to clothes, I just get mad because then you realize you have to measure yourself constantly.
Oh yeah, because like your
And
body fluctuates like all the time.
I even got like the big, model thing. And I remember one time I was cooking dinner and the thing was in the living room, which is like you could see it from the kitchen. And my daughter goes, "Oh, is that your size, Mom?" And I looked at it. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I didn't say I'm sorry, but I'm like, yeah, I am that big." And she's like, "You don't look that big." And I'm like, "No, that is exactly what my size is. That is what I look like."
So it's gonna humble me.
It does, and you have to be really aware of what your measurements are. And then when you try it on, if it's too small, I mean, it's just
Yeah, it has the potential to be meltdown material, but
So my favorite things to sew was like at the time my kids were younger and my youngest had American Girl doll stuff.
Oh, cute.
So I loved sewing. So if you want some American Girl doll patterns, hit me up. I've got a bunch of them.
I'll make a outfit for Tommy's creepy Hawkeye doll.
I mean, it may fit. I don't know what the proportions are, but
I don't either.
but I didn't have to measure myself for
What
that.
do you think Tommy would say if I asked him to measure your doll?
What's the bust?
Yeah, tell me. All right, well, let's take a break for some news and weather, and we'll be back after that. You're listening to the mighty 1630 KCJJ.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer indicates he'll support a GOP funding bill to keep the government open past tomorrow. CBS's Stacey Lynn reports.
Senator Schumer says he will vote yes on the continuing resolution.
I believe it is my job to make the best choice for the country to minimize the harms to the American people.
He said the only person who wants a government shutdown is the president.
Because it will distract from his true agenda, delivering massive cuts to the rich, paid for on the backs of American families.
The move is a major concession for Senate Democrats who said on Wednesday they would block the measure, calling it too partisan. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
The Trump administration is expected to appeal an order by a federal judge in San Francisco to bring back some 30,000 probationary workers who were fired from at least 6 government agencies. CBS's Jake Rosen with more.
The judge in the case said it's a, quote, sad, sad day when our government would fire some good employees and say it was based on performance when they know good and well that's a lie. He said at the end of the hearing at the union's request for a preliminary injunction. Quote, that should not have been done in our country. It was a sham.
President Trump threatens a 200% retaliatory tariff on European wine after the European Union proposes an American whiskey tax. Kevin Estrada manages a restaurant in Manhattan.
The last thing we want to do is raise the prices, but we have to in order to keep our profit margin.
A rare twister touches down in Los Angeles County's Pico Rivera neighborhood. National Weather Service meteorologist Ariel Cohen.
This was a tornado that extended over a path length of approximately 1 mile, path width of approximately 80 yards. It lasted about a couple of minutes, and it did produce quite a bit of damage.
Public Works crews have spent the day clearing trees and debris from the streets while Southern California Edison has been busy restoring power. The search for missing University of Pittsburgh student Sudicha Konaki is still underway in the Dominican Republic. She was last seen, according to investigators, on the beach by the resort where she was staying a week ago. CBS's Manuel Bojorquez is in Punta Cana.
The water's just off the Rio Republica resort where Konaki was staying with her friends. But this search is not just happening along the surface of the water. There have been dive teams looking below. There are coral reefs down there. And also we're told that investigators have been looking at mangroves that dot this coastline.
Congressman Raul Grijalva's office says the 12-term Democrat from Arizona has died after complications from cancer treatment. And fewer Americans filed for jobless claims last week. This is CBS News.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You could save big when you bundle your auto, home, motorcycle, RV, or boat. Visit Progressive.com.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to VaxAssist.com and schedule today. That's VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Bombas makes the most comfortable socks, underwear, and T-shirts.
Warning, Bombas are so absurdly comfortable you may throw out all your other clothes.
Sorry, do we legally have to say that?
No, this is just how I talk, and I really love my Bombas.
They do feel that good. And they do good, too. One item purchased equals one item donated.
To feel good and do good, go to bombas.com/radio and use code radio for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/radio and use code radio at checkout.
From the Hertin and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Hertin and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Now, Iowa City's news first.
I'm Tommy Lang with KCJJ News. A bill making its way through the Iowa legislature would require at least 80% of the medical and dental students seeking degrees at the University of Iowa be from Iowa or attend college in the state. The bill passed the Iowa House on Wednesday. It also gives preference to Iowans for residency positions at University of Iowa Healthcare. It was introduced by Republican Representative Ann Meyer of Fort Dodge. She says in the past 4 years, 81% of Iowa natives left the state to do their residencies or training after medical school. During debate on the bill, Iowa City Representative Adam Zabner said the bill would hinder UIHC's ability to recruit top talent from around the country. Meyer said the bill intention is to help, quote, grow our own. The bill moves on to the Senate. An Oxford man was taken into custody late Wednesday night after allegedly being found under the influence while eluding officers. According to the arrest report, 18-year-old Matthew Gregg of Copi Road Northwest was on Lower Oxford Road just past 11:45 p.m. when a sheriff's deputy caught him on radar going 72 miles an hour in a 55-mile-per-hour zone. He allegedly failed to stop despite lights and siren being deployed. He then sped up, reaching speeds in excess of 90 miles an hour. Upon contact, Gregg reportedly showed signs of intoxication. Several containers of alcohol were located inside his vehicle, and Gregg allegedly admitted to drinking a few beers. After performing poorly on field sobriety tests, he consented to a breath sample, showing a breath alcohol level of 0.119%. Gregg is charged with first offense operating while intoxicated and felony eluding. He faces up to 6 years in prison if convicted on both counts. A Coralville woman has been arrested after she was allegedly observed selling meth. Police say the incident occurred September 28th at the Western Hills Estates manufactured housing community. 30-year-old Cheyenne Edwards, a resident at the mobile home park, reportedly sold about 15 grams of meth for $250. The meth was transported to the Department of Criminal Investigation lab for analysis. Testing came back positive for meth. A warrant was issued on February 13th and served on Sunday. Edwards is charged with a Class B controlled substance violation, failure to affix a drug tax stamp, and second offense, possession of a controlled substance. If convicted on all counts, she could be sentenced to up to 32 years in prison. Summer of the Arts announced its Friday night concert series lineup on KCJJ Thursday morning. The series will kick off May 16th with a performance by the Iowa Steel Band. Local high school jazz ensembles return, including new performances from the West Liberty High and West High jazz ensembles. Special highlights include the Diplomats of Solid Sound on June 27th, a Juneteenth celebration on June 20th, and the Dandelion Stompers on August 1st. The series will conclude September 26th with a Signal Flow Productions showcase. For more details, including the full lineup, you can find this story on the KCJJ app and at 1630kcjj.com. In sports, the University of Iowa baseball team has had to adjust its weekend series with Michigan State due to projected severe weather. The series will now begin with a doubleheader Friday at noon at Banks Field, followed by a single game Saturday afternoon at 1. For more details, go to HawkeyeSports.com. The Iowa softball team takes a 16-8 record into Bloomington, Indiana, to face the Hoosiers in a 2-game series. Game times are 5 o'clock Saturday night and noon on Sunday. Both games can be seen on BTN+. University of Iowa women's wrestler Kylie Welker has been named the USA Wrestling Athlete of the Week. On Saturday, Welker won her second NCWWC national title at 180 pounds, helping Iowa to its second team title. We'll talk more Hawkeye sports, including how the men's basketball team did against Illinois at the Big Ten tournament in Indianapolis, on the next HawkFanatic.com segment, Friday morning at 9, right here on the mighty 1630, KCJJ. And the Iowa Heartlanders are once again on the road this weekend. They're at Rapid City for games at 8:05 Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. You can listen online at iowaheartlanders.com. You can also watch the games through Flow Sports. With KCJJ News, I'm Tommy Lang.
KCJJ Weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Increasing clouds tonight, slight shower chance, and a low in the low 50s. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy, showers and storms in the afternoon and especially the evening. Some could be strong. High in the upper 70s and windy. Partly sunny, cooler and breezy Saturday, high mid-50s, and near 50 with sun on Sunday. That's your latest forecast on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Currently, it's 66.
You're listening to Molly Suter on the mighty 1630 KCJJ.
Yes, you are. But you're also listening to the other girl.
I forgot to ask you. I was browsing the website.
What website?
A few weeks ago. KCJJ.
Oh, cool.
I didn't realize we were on there.
Yes,
on
we are.
Thursdays. Occasional Thursdays.
We're on the app too. Regardless of if we're on or not, Thursday night, 7 to 9, like our little banner is on there. Yeah, and
we have a banner?
Yeah, Tommy did that. And I think that's very
thank
cute.
you, Tommy. You're the best.
And then, yeah, my regular music show has my little picture too. Tommy chose a picture of me drinking in Boston for my profile picture, so thank you for that. It's a cute picture, yeah. So I don't mind too much. It beats the other one that I had where it was just like my pizza was in the background. Like my half-eaten piece of pizza was in the background.
No one's looking at that but you.
All right, well, we are going to play a game for hour 2 of this show called Pick Your Poison, and it's basically just a would you rather game. We draw 2 cards.
I'm doing it completely random. I've shuffled them.
Oh, I have not, but I think it's fine. If they're too related, I'll do it, but like
one side note.
Okay.
This is TikTok related. I found a guy on TikTok that just popped up. He does tarot readings with Pokemon cards.
Yes, wait.
Have you seen him too?
Yes, I love
his voice
him.
is so gentle. I want him to like.
I love him so much, and I love those tarot readings so much.
None of them pertain to me, but
no, I sent you the one where he pulls the card. And he's like built like Jim Hopper. And
oh,
like,
I didn't see that. I did it. I just completely forgot.
Yeah,
about it.
And I'm like, this is for Cindy. Yes, but it's called the Destiny Tarot deck,
and Jim Hopper, the actor, he's divorcing now.
I know. David Harbour.
So
I thought he and Lily Allen were a strange couple to begin with.
Well,
so I'm not
she's
quite
so,
surprised.
So dainty. She just seems like she's a piece of fine china, and he's kind of a rough and tumble kind of guy.
Yeah. I don't know.
But
But
opposites attract.
Opposites attract.
Dude,
Yeah.
like when you sink into a depression and become like a raging alcoholic, hit me up.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm not gonna do these 2 cards that just popped up because I know your answer already. So I'm not even gonna do that. Okay, Cindy, would you rather hibernate for 4 months a year?
Yes.
Or
I don't need to know the other one.
Or be unable to distinguish between your dreams and reality.
I am living both of those right now. I don't understand what the question is. I was trying to tell my daughter the other day, I'm like, why do people give, like, hermits a bad time?
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with, like, wanting to, like, not be around people?
Because most people are, like, social animals, and so they
Okay, but what if I'm not?
Weird.
Why do I have to be forced into thinking I need to do these things? So, yes to both.
Be unable to distinguish between your dreams and reality? That would be terrifying.
It is happening right now.
And
I
that's
do not
true.
know what's real right now. I really don't.
Yeah, you're right. Well, for example, I had a dream last night where I was, like, taking this, like, dance class with my friend, and something was happening to her. She had to be rushed to the hospital, so she's like, oh my god, call 911. I'm like, okay. And then I went to dial 911, and then my phone died. And then I ran over to other people. I'm like, please let me use your phone. I have to call 911 for my friend. She's, like, choking or something. I don't remember. But then, like, their passwords wouldn't work or whatever. And so then she was getting mad at me, and she's like, just let me do it. We're not friends anymore.
This is an anxiety dream. What are you anxious about?
I don't know.
Because I have these all the time.
I don't know, but then, yeah, I'm like, I don't want that to be my reality. I don't want this friend to be, like, either choking or whatever she was doing, or just mad at me because I couldn't call 911 in time.
Clearly, I'd rather hibernate I've already said I wish I was a bear, so I could just go asleep for, like, 4 months at a time.
Oh, absolutely.
Or even a month. I would take a month.
I feel like for winter.
Yeah. I don't know why we don't do that anyway.
Winter it benefits nobody.
We're not that different from bears. I don't understand why we don't do that naturally.
Exactly. Gosh, okay.
Okay. Never trim your nails again. Mm-hmm. Or tickle whoever's in front of you every time you're waiting in line for more than 1 minute.
What?
My fingernails really don't grow.
Oh, I hate the feeling. I would just tickle people.
I don't particularly want to touch anybody, so I would rather just not trim my fingernails.
I would tickle them and then explain the situation.
It's like, I have to.
I have to.
It said it on the card. I had
I'm
to.
so sorry. Well, to me, these things are like, it will happen no matter, like, you're compelled to do these things.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a choice. You have to do it. You know? That's what mine goes to. My mind goes to. All right. Would you rather never wear anything on your feet again, or stick your finger in the mouth of every person that yawns in your pheasants? Ew.
I don't like wearing shoes to begin with, so yes.
No, I don't like wearing shoes either.
I have to wear them more than I would like to, just because my feet will hurt if I don't. But because I get those
in the summer
carpal tunnel in my foot or whatever it's called. What's it called? The
plantar fasciitis.
Yes.
Do you know? In the summer months, I am usually never wearing shoes, just because I don't like putting them on.
Well, let's be real. Crocs are not like shoes anyway. And that's all. I literally only wear Crocs. I very rarely wear something else. Even in the winter, I made it almost all winter wearing Crocs.
Really?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I just wore socks, and I tried to keep out of
snow
and
because
like
slush. Yeah.
Because I need to find a pair of Crocs that don't have holes in them.
They make them. They make so many different styles of Crocs. You'll be able to find some.
Okay.
All right. Well.
Okay. I'm just going to go blind here.
Yeah.
Have all your clothes be 2 sizes too small?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
I would take anything. I would even put my finger in people's mouths.
Absolutely not.
Have the police release a sketch of a murder suspect that looks exactly like you. Do you remember? Okay, this is not even funny, but it was kind of funny. When Gabby Petito was missing.
Yeah.
And they were like looking for the boyfriend.
Oh yeah,
and there was a guy that
sketch was terrible.
Just like there was like a guy that looked just like him, and he had to get on TikTok and tell people, look, it's not me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay, but which one?
Probably the police one, and then I'll just go get on TikTok and be like, hey, it's not me.
It would be kind of funny.
Because there is no way I'm wearing clothes 2 sizes too small. If it was too big, yeah.
Oh, that would be
absolutely. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. No.
That's a secret.
That's crazy.
If you wear clothes that are a little bit big for you, people think that you've lost weight. Just saying. Life hacks for me.
Would you rather have the neck of a giraffe or wear the same pair of socks for an entire year without washing them?
Okay, like have the neck on me, or just have a neck of a giraffe that I could like eat or something?
I imagine your neck is the giraffe.
I'd rather have a neck giraffe. I like clean socks.
I would just not wear socks. I would just not wear socks. Like in the winter, just wear your Ugg boots, and then in the summer, you don't have to wear socks anymore.
I have fleece-lined Crocs, so there we go.
Yes.
Problem solved.
Okay, great.
Okay. We can solve imaginary problems very easily. Okay, would you spit up a fur ball like a cat each time you cough?
Ew.
Which I have done, practically, depending on how sick you are. Only be able to walk sideways.
I think the sideways one, as funny as it is, would be a detriment, like, pretty quickly. So, I don't cough that often, so, like, would it be, like, just gross, or would it be, like, painful, do you think?
I mean, what do cats do? What do they look like? It's just like
it's just
blob of hair.
Yeah. Just the blob of hair.
You could just save it, and then let it dry out. And then weave it into yarn, and boom, you've got yourself a hobby.
Ew.
Got to get the spit off, though. Ew. And the bile, or
and
whatever.
And the bile and the food that was in your stomach. Ew.
I did have a, she didn't take spit up hair, but she would brush her cats. It was an old boss.
Oh, yeah.
And I think she had 3 cats. Yeah, because I actually babysat her cats when they were gone. And she would take them and she would weave it into, or spin it into yarn.
Oh, cute.
And make stuff out of it, which I thought was kind of cute.
Oh, that is cute.
That is the one area I was like, I am not getting into yarn spinning when I started crochet. Do not let me spin yarn.
Okay, I won't. But would
do not let me do it.
Would you listen to me?
What?
If you said, I think I want to spin my own yarn, and I said, remember this moment, and I'm not going to let you, like, would you listen to me?
Maybe.
All right. Would you rather drink orange juice immediately after brushing your teeth every morning, or have the theft alarm go off every time you leave a store even though you didn't steal anything? That happens all the time anyway.
That happened to my mom all the time. I don't know if you remember, but people used to have answering machines.
Yes.
And my mom had a fancy answering machine that had a remote thing.
Oh.
And so she would call the home, and then you'd play this remote thing. It would play a noise into the phone, and it would like trigger the messages so you could listen to them.
Oh, cool.
So when we were on vacation, she could hear messages.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing set off every single alarm every single time.
So yeah, I mean, but that happens a lot.
Yeah.
A lot anyway. So
and I don't go to stores very often. And if we're being honest, if I had orange juice in the house, I would drink it every single time after I brush my teeth, because I always forget that it tastes bad.
Really? I never do. I have not done orange juice after brushing my teeth in a while, just because I know how foul it is.
I just don't drink orange juice. But if I had, like, I always forget. I'm always like, why does this taste weird? And then I'm like, oh yeah, I just had toothpaste.
I go through phases, just like cereal. I go through cereal phases where I just have like a lot of it in the house, and then like I get totally over it. Mm-hmm. But the same thing with orange juice. Like I go through orange juice phases. Like every time I'm at the store, I buy another jug of orange juice, and then I get sick of it.
I've gone through a fruit infusion phase. So like I have a pitcher that you can put fruit into, and like a little basket thing, and then when it sits in the water, it makes the water taste really good. I highly recommend.
I did that today. I had clementines from Hy-Vee, and I put the peel in.
That doesn't make it bitter?
No, it's like a refreshing water.
Oh, I also have like the squirting, like the bottle of lime juice and lemon juice. Mm-hmm. That's what I've got in mine right now when I forget to infuse my water.
All right.
Is it my turn?
Oh, yeah. It is.
Have a small stream of chocolate pudding constantly leaking from your ear. That is not where I thought that was going to go.
What?
Or have your nose light up like Rudolph every time you receive a text message.
Rudolph.
Actually, that would be kind of neat.
Fun.
Actually,
that would be so fun. Every time you got a text message, Well, we're glad that's not a Facebook message because that it would be read all day.
Either way, I don't get very many texts either.
I don't get the only ones I get are like either like seasonally like political stuff, or like if I sign up for rewards points for like Chili's or something, they'll be like, get a half off a triple dipper if you come in for blah 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 blah.
And then you're like, oh, I forgot to turn that notification off.
Right, exactly. Only the real ones know that if they really want to get a hold of me, Facebook message.
And that's the thing, like I deleted the app, the Facebook app off my phone. And if you know, you know. That means I'm stepping away.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't mean anything to normal people, but I think you understand.
I understand.
And then the Facebook Messenger, because I love people just dropping in and chatting.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose that.
It's different. I feel like Facebook Messenger is kind of divorced from Facebook itself. Like it should be its own app. Like it should be just its own messaging app.
Yeah, I have that on my phone, but it's on like the third or fourth page. And then I finally decided to get notifications because I kept forgetting to check it.
Oh, right. So you wouldn't have been able to
So you
know
can go
that.
back to getting a hold of me on Facebook Messenger.
Facebook Messenger. Yeah, which is how I got a hold of you.
Right. But for a while there, I was like, text.
Yeah, just text.
Yeah. But now I think I've got it figured out, and I just check it on a browser if I need to look at Facebook, and it still comes in handy. And one of these days, I'll start posting again. But
I mean, you don't. That's the beauty of social media. You don't have to. If it's no longer serving you, you don't have to use it.
Well, plus I just am like at the point where it's like, even with my friendships, it's like, do I really need to know everything everyone's thinking?
No.
I don't need to know everyone's opinion all the time.
I don't share a lot of what I'm thinking.
I have friends
most of
that
the time.
share a lot of what they're thinking. And
I just
I've
feel
gotten to the
like-
point now I'm like, I don't want to know unless I ask you. Because I'm probably not thinking the same thing. And it just annoys me.
Like, I would get rid of Twitter if I could, but the music circles I'm in on that app, like, directly benefit, like, my job.
Yeah.
So, it just doesn't exist anywhere else.
And I just I couldn't get into Twitter. I just can't follow the threads.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as...
Oh, I love just scrolling.
Yeah, but, like, I can't follow the story. Do you know what I mean? Like, if somebody is, like, going back and forth on Twitter, I can't figure out how to... I could never figure that out.
So, yeah, I'd get rid of Twitter if I could, but...
That's how I feel about Facebook. I would get rid of it, but it's got, like, 15 years of photographs.
No, exactly. I would get rid of Facebook, too, but I have logged in every day since 2009. And, yeah, it has... 15, 16 years worth of photos like different posts from like different people on it. And it's just like, that's a lot to just give up.
Multiple times a day for 15 years.
Yeah. Like, and that's
and now I think I've finally gotten to the point where I really am going onto it to look and browse once every couple days, which is a big deal for me.
Yeah, because you used to be very active.
Yes, and now it's like nothing. Like it's a bunch of crabby old people complaining. But I digress. What's the next?
Okay.
Would you rather?
Would you rather get trapped in a mine with 100 people for 5 days? No. Automatically no. Or be unable to grow hair anywhere on your body?
The hair thing. Actually, that would be kind of thing. Like, why wouldn't I want to do that? I mean,
you could just get a wig.
Okay. Empathy to the people that actually have that as
Alopecia,
a disease.
yeah.
Because it is not fun if you don't choose it.
Yeah, exactly.
But if I were going to choose between mine time with 100 people for 5 people,
5 days.
that I would definitely at that point thinking, is this hell? Can you imagine being with 100 people and you'd have to like poop and pee in front of them?
Imagine all the poop like on Everest. It's Everest, but
it
like
all comes
in a mine.
down to like, what do you do with your poop?
Yeah,
that's really what it comes down to with all these questions.
You would just have to designate like a few different corners for that, but the smell would be crazy. Oh no, absolutely not. Yeah, the hair thing for sure.
I would love that.
I mean, the hair. we have hair because of like evolution of like you need to protect like your head, your privates, your armpits. Actually, like the armpit thing is just because like the skin like brushes together, and so the hair is there to like stop the friction.
Then why do we shave it?
For beauty standards.
Well, for me, it's also smell. Like if I have hair there, it's like I'm more likely the deodorant's not going to work as well.
Or like it's just going to get stuck in the hair. Yeah, I get it. But yeah, that's what hair was like for evolution purposes, and now it's like mostly cosmetic for vanity.
I mean, I would love to wear wigs.
Yeah, I feel like that would be fun. And especially because like I want to be a redhead today. I want to be blonde today.
And I don't do anything with my hair these days anyway, so I just put it back and hope for the best.
Yeah, exactly.
So if I shaved my head, it would be no difference, except for I'd be annoyed as it grew out. That's the only reason why I'm not shaving my head.
Oh, yeah. I would be annoyed,
because as it grows out, like I cut my hair short when I turned 50.
Yes.
And it was like the worst thing I had ever done because I'm like, I don't want to have to do my hair every day. And when your hair is short, you have to like do it.
Yeah.
You have to like brush it and you have to like make sure it looks okay.
Otherwise, it's just going to be a mess on top of your head. Yeah.
And there's some people that have like cute little short haircuts that they don't really do much with. They just wash and go. And I was not that fortunate.
Not one of them?
No. I got a good haircut. I just didn't
maintain it.
I guess I'm not a wash and go kind of girl. I'm just a wash and tie back, and maybe I'll get fancy with a little clip.
I usually don't. I don't heat style my hair. Like I will, because it's so long, it's just kind of straight, and so when it dries, like I just go brush it and go. Sometimes I don't even brush it, and it
you
just
do have a really cute messy bun.
Thank you.
You do messy bun really well. I love messy buns.
Thank you so much. Well, it is my usual go-to hairstyle.
I'll
right
stop
now,
women,
so.
like complete strangers, like at the grocery store, be like, I like your messy bun.
They're
like, oh, thank you.
Cute. Yeah, sometimes with messy buns you have to like kind of manipulate it, but I don't. I just let it.
I know some people. I get a
side
response of like, yeah, it took me an hour to get it this way.
No,
like, oh,
no,
girl,
that could never ever be me. Like if I had to take an hour to like artfully put together my messy bun, I'd just straighten it or curl it or something into like a really cute style. Yeah, or shave it.
So yes, I would rather go hairless.
All right.
Ready?
Yes.
Belch really loudly every time you pass through a doorway.
Oh, I did that anyway.
Never shower again.
Belching.
I'd be belching.
Oh my gosh! Who would choose the shower one?
Every single day.
Who would choose the shower one? Oh my god, there's nothing better than a nice shower to make you feel clean. Have you seen that meme where it's like, my hair is washed, I'm worthy of love again? It feels like that.
Yeah. I just can't. It's like the start of the day. I know when I've taken a shower, I'm actually going to go to work or I'm going to do something that day. The days I don't shower are the days I
just rot.
I
in
am
bed.
like a complete waste of a human, which I need those days. Don't get me
well,
wrong.
everyone does, but yeah, it's been hard getting out of bed lately. I don't know why. It's just, I've been very tired, very sleepy despite not doing anything like excessive physical exercise or whatever. I've just been very sleepy, and so it took me forever to get out of bed this morning. And what actually made me do it was just like, get in the shower, you have to wash your hair, you get to be under like hot water for a little bit. I'm like, okay, great, that sounds great. And so, but it still took me a while after the shower to like actually wake up.
I sit for like an hour and scroll and watch TV and catch up on my reality TV in the mornings. That's the only reason why I wake up an hour and a half before I have to go. It takes me 5 minutes to get ready.
Yeah,
literally,
if that.
And my showers are not that long, and I finally got out of the habit of washing my hair every single day.
No, I don't do that. It's not good for your hair if you do that.
But like it was just part of, and I like being underneath
the hot shower. Yeah,
that's the one ADHD thing that is like a symptom, or whatever. Like people with ADHD tend to have to like really struggle to get into the shower and stuff. And I've never. That is like the one thing I'm like, maybe I don't have ADHD because I don't have a problem getting in the shower.
It's kind of a pick and mix of symptoms.
Yeah. I've got all 99 other ones, but out of 100, but
But yeah, definitely the belching one. I kind of already do that, so.
Yeah, belching is not that big of a deal. I don't think that would be like a tragedy.
I think one time I accidentally like belched on the air, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, everyone. That was so gross. But I mean, the morning show does stuff like that, so
there are.
Why can't I do
this morning show? But there's morning shows that do like farts and everything. So it's like,
I'm sure this morning show has had its fair share of fart and burp jokes.
I'm sure they have.
Yes. Okay, so would you rather wear braces with headgear for the rest of your life, or have all of your food chewed by another person before eating it? No.
I'm not doing either. I'm not choosing either one of those.
Yeah,
well, the
you have
braces,
to.
I guess I wouldn't care, because braces nowadays are not that bad.
No.
And headgear you don't wear all the time. You wear it
at night.
At night, don't you? I've never had braces, so I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
braces...
you, Mom and Dad, for great teeth.
Well, thank you, Mom and Dad, for paying for me to have great teeth.
Thank you to the state for paying for my youngest kids.
Oh, yeah. Hey, all
They're
right.
broke. That's what happens when you're poor. The state pays for stuff.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I have a friend who has braces right now, and she has just Invisalign trays, and it's not like the metal ones that I had to deal with.
Even Katie, when she had them, she got to choose what color bands went on and stuff.
Yeah, me too. And the only one I don't recommend you get is yellow. I had that for like a Hawkeye game or something, and I'm like, no, it just looks like you have yellow teeth, and and no, it looked really gross. The green didn't look very good either. So I usually just had like pink.
So do you still have your retainer and wear it?
Well, funny you should say. I left my retainer somewhere, and I have to get a new one. I have to get new ones. But yes, I am mostly consistent about wearing my retainer at night because, again, my parents paid a lot of money to get my teeth straightened, and if you don't wear your retainer, your teeth just move back.
Yeah, and Katie's hasn't, and she hasn't worn her retainer forever, so I don't know what's going on there. But
oh, well, cool. More power to her. I just know that I would like to keep my smile just because I like it.
It's pretty, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I like it. They are pretty expensive though. They're $150 each
for the retainers. Yeah, because we had to replace one, and then she just stopped wearing it at some point, which is a battle I wasn't going to fight at the time.
Yeah. So they haven't moved back at all. Like
I don't.
They didn't
she
move
looks
at
fine
all.
To me.
That's,
I mean,
because
hers was not horrible to begin with. It was not like
I had
jagged tooth or anything.
I had a gap. I had a gap tooth, and so I never wanted to get to that point again. But yeah, whenever I even miss like 2-3 nights in a row, I can feel my teeth moving.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not pleasant. It's not
She
pleasant.
hasn't complained, and I haven't noticed it being weird, so.
All right.
I guess we lucked out. Okay. Get hit in the cheek by a professional baseball player's fastball. That would hurt. You would break your head. Only hear every other sentence that is spoken to you. That is pretty much what's happening to me.
That's kind of what's happening anyway. So yeah, the sentence thing.
It's not that I don't hear you. It's just that I stop listening after the first sentence.
Listen, it's not you. It's my brain runs on Windows 95. Give it a second. You know. Sometimes it misses things.
And I'm not updating.
No, exactly. Not even to Windows Vista. Not even to Windows XP. It's Windows
and I know
95.
nothing about sports ball, but I know a professional baseball player has a really fast pitch.
One time when I played softball, because I played rec league softball when I was a teenager, and I tried to get this like ground ball that was coming right at me, but I was in the outfield and I had to like run up to get it, and the softball like caught the lip of where the field turns into the outfield, and so it like came up and flew just right into my mouth, and
that's why you needed braces, right?
No, but it was before I got braces, and so one of my teeth like was a little bit lower than the other ones, like it knocked it a little bit, It was not fun. Another time, a softball, like, some of those ladies can really pitch it, and so it's really fast. And so one time she pitched it, it was coming straight at me, so I turned, and it hit my butt. And there was, like, a huge welt on my butt in the shower that night. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Full contact softball.
Yeah, it was crazy. But I'm like, I guess it's better than my face or my shoulder or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least my butt didn't cave in like George Mallory. The image is crazy. Just thinking about it.
Well, there's one dead person up there that has like
green shoes.
Oh, is it green shoes? I remember it was like a color of shoes.
Green boots. Yeah.
And it's like they won't move him because he's like,
it's a landmark.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know how I guess.
Well, that's not why they don't move him. They don't move him because in the death zone, like I think that's above like 26,000 feet or whatever. It takes so much energy just to move forward to the summit. You can only stay at the summit for like 5 minutes before you have to keep going down because of your oxygen canisters. Like you have to just keep going, and there are no like rescue teams to get up that far because it takes so much energy just to like put one foot in front of the other. In order to like drag a body down, that would take more energy than your own body could do, and you would die up there just like the people that you were trying to help. And so that's why it's so dangerous, like especially above that death zone. Nobody can help you without running the risk of like
except
their
for the
own
Sherpas
life.
Who just go up and down with no problem.
That's because they were born there, and so like
they're acclimated.
They're acclimated all the time. But yeah, just like if you're just like a regular tourist there, or
I just like the fact that there's people that spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to go on expeditions,
and then
there's
the
people that live there like, yeah, we're just gonna go up to the top today.
Yeah, but
have
they
breakfast.
Also,
I mean, they probably don't.
I don't envy the Sherpas though. They have to like get everything ready.
I know, but nobody gives them props. Like they are the real superheroes, not these idiots that go.
Right, exactly.
Like I made it to the top. Okay, well, good for you. Who was there with you?
All of the Sherpas, setting up all of your ropes and everything you had to do.
Carrying all your crap.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Would you rather lose your 2 front teeth? Lots of teeth questions. Or wear zombie face paint at all times?
Probably the face paint.
Yeah. Face paint.
It'd keep people away, right?
No, actually, I think it would attract people. Like, why are you wearing that?
People would be like, oh, here's $1. If I was downtown. Have you seen well, I think of him as a zombie clown, but there's a guy that does, like busking kind of.
Oh, no.
Kind of, sort of in front of, Prairie Lights, that strip.
Okay. I've been on that strip.
I've seen him a couple times. Like, I've gone down that road a couple times since I started working at the attorney's office. I don't go downtown very often, but I've seen him twice, and I gave him money to both times. But he does like a little, I don't know, drums or something. I don't know. He like does a little entertaining type, but he always has like a clown makeup face that kind of looks like he should be in a horror movie, if that makes sense.
It's part of his.
But I'm like, dude, yeah, you've earned this. Like, I don't know what your story is, but you entertained me for a second. Okay. Wear a monocle at all times, which I think is one of those glasses.
Yeah, it's one of those like glasses, but one thing.
Have your eyes on the back of your head. I would like eyes on the back of my head.
I feel like monocle is fine. Think about how like weird you would look without your eyes in your front.
I know, but like I always told my kids I had eyes in the back of my head. Isn't that a mom thing to say?
Yes, it is a mom thing to say. It's a grandma thing to say too. I think my grandma said that to us too.
I already have eyes in the back of my head.
All right. Would you rather have huge wings on your back but be unable to fly, or always look really pissed off no matter how hard you try to be friendly?
I'd rather look pissed off.
That's already happening. I have RBF.
I actually have a resting, like, smile face.
Oh,
I can't
fun.
help it. Like,
Well,
I
that's
just
nice.
instinctively smile. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I had a friend in college who had a resting sad face, and it was not great. But one night I was passing by her room, and I just saw her staring at a blank Word document. And since she had resting sad face, it looks like she was just crying over like a blank Word document. And I'm just like, that's kind of a mood, but like, are you okay? She's like, yeah, I just don't know how to start this. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair.
The wings thing, though, reminded me of a TikTok I saw tonight where the guy was like, I think if I could had the ability to fly, I probably wouldn't fly. Because if it required any sort of like, he's like, I have the ability to walk, but
or
I
it'd
don't
be
really
like
walk.
running.
Yeah, and I have the ability to run, but like, I'm not running.
I think
So-
I would like I feel like that's a good point.
I know, and I never thought of it. I'm like, yeah, you have to have some sort of physical.
And eventually I would probably think that too, but I think like initially if you were given the ability to fly, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
That would be so cool for like a week, and then you would probably be over it.
You'd be really tired, and
It
you'd pull
would
all of
be-
your,
yeah, it would
your
be-
wing muscles, and you'd be like, ah.
Yeah, it would be very tiring.
I'm not
and,
doing that again.
And even if you wanted to like fly, if you be like, oh, I could probably just fly to Chicago, like then you would just have to fly to Chicago. That would be very tiring.
Exactly. He makes a very good
It'd
point.
be like that dumb dad joke, and it was like, I just flew in from Cedar Rapids, and boy, are my arms tired. You know?
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Take 6 untrained dogs with you everywhere you go.
No.
I take 1. Go on stage in 5 minutes as the lead act for a stand-up comedy show with 50,000 people in the audience. I have to think about that one.
I would probably do the comedy thing just because that seems like a one-time thing, but like, take the 6 dogs everywhere you go seems like it would be ultimately really
I feel like if
taxing.
you're taking 6 untrained dogs with you everywhere you go, they eventually would get trained. Right?
No, with this card seems to think that no, they stay untrained.
I mean, I wouldn't be training them, but whoever I was hanging out with would.
I have not been trained as a stand-up comic. I feel like I would bomb, but I could probably like talk for a while. I mean, like we're talking for a while here.
I know, but when that one time you had to leave the room to go to the bathroom, I was on by
Yes.
myself, and I'm like, I talk to myself all the time at home, but I'm not doing it in front of an audience.
Yeah. That's why if I have to pee, and I don't, but like if
like,
I
no,
had
no,
if I had to, I would just do commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like entertain the audience, and you're like, what do I say?
I know you have a 5-minute warning. I'd probably get out my old Facebook and start reading through statuses. Is what I would probably do.
I would probably just go on a rant, try to think of like my funniest rant. Maybe the poop on Mount Everest. Maybe I would focus on the poop on Mount Everest.
You'd do a solid 20 minutes on poop.
I mean, we did.
There's a truth bomb right there.
Yeah, I would probably do that and then be like, okay, peace. It's a one act.
Yeah. It didn't say you had to be good.
No, it didn't. It just said you had to do it. I could do it. Not be good at it, but I could do it.
What was the other one, though? Oh. I
The
could do
six
either one of them,
six
probably.
untrained dogs, no. I would not do that.
I mean, my dog's not trained, and he's fine.
Yeah, but he's only one. He's a one dog.
I mean, he does listen to me. Like, he'll come to me when I call him,
Okay,
usually.
well, that means he's trained, kind of.
Bit.
All right. Would you rather have an incurable case of pink eye or have 2 personalities but be completely unaware of your other self? Well, people do have that. That's called dissociative identity disorder, and people live with it.
I mean, I think I do have 2 separate personalities. Like, I have work.
Be completely but you would have to be completely unaware of your other self.
I mean, sometimes... Okay. Are you watching the show Severance?
No.
Okay, I'm not watching it, but I know enough to know the premise is they've severed, like, your work life and your home life, and each side doesn't know what the other side's doing, but it's the same person. Does that make sense?
Oh.
And
I didn't know that
I haven't been able to get into the show, and I couldn't figure out why. And then I realized I do that already. Like, I have 2 jobs, and the only reason why I don't feel like I'm, like, overworked is because they're 2 separate jobs, 2 separate things. So, like, I do this thing for 8 hours, and then I do this thing for another 3 hours, and then I go home, and then I'm that person. So I have, like, 3 separate people, and I just compartmentalize it all.
Which one is Severance on?
Apple.
Oh.
Which I don't have Apple
I don't
anymore.
have anymore, no. If you get it again, please let me know so I can.
I mean,
mooch
you
off
might
the
like
password
Severance.
again.
I just cannot. I couldn't get into it because the whole time I'm thinking, well, what's wrong with this? Why wouldn't you want to have your brain severed so that you don't remember what happens at work? I get
Right.
home and I can't remember what I did at work. I literally can't. I mean, I can, but
I mean, I feel like that would be depressing for the one half of your brain that has to work and not.
well, that's
like...
the whole point of the show. I guess they don't really like that.
Oh, okay.
Once they realize that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Because once you're severed, you give permission to get severed, but like you don't really know why.
Interesting.
But I am also like, where do I sign up?
You want to be severed?
I mean, I would have to ask what the pay was first.
All right.
And if they have good food days.
Oh wait, I just asked you. Yeah,
Oh,
so
my turn?
so you'd rather be severed than have incurable pink eye?
Well, I don't think I've ever had pink eye.
I have,
but I don't
It's
think
not
I would want
great.
to have it constantly. That
No,
would suck.
you wouldn't.
Be unable to wear your clothes that cover your belly button.
I like mine covered. What's the other one?
Have irremovable nostril hairs that extend beyond your upper lip.
Ew. Ooh, I don't. Can I trim my nose hairs?
They cannot be removed.
Oh, ew. I know there's a lot of like men of a certain age who already have that. Like my grandpa used to have the worst nose hairs, and he never like did anything about it. I'm like, yeah, so fully there's just like hair just coming out of your nostrils. He just didn't care, and like more power to him. Slay. I think I would have to go with belly button.
I mean,
as much as I hate that, I think I would have to.
To be fair, the only people suffering would be the people who saw me with my belly button exposed.
Oh, that you were about to
Do you
say
know what I'm
with
saying?
your nostril hair.
So, like,
and since you
I
don't like
care
being
if
around
people, don't like seeing my belly button. It's not the most attractive thing in the world.
Nope.
So I would choose seeing the belly button all the time.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Excuse me. Would you rather have your hands become visibly wet every time you're about to shake someone's hand, or get kicked in the chest by a racehorse?
That's how people die.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't shake people's hands.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't do that anyway. I mean,
I wouldn't shake people. I would just wave, and like,
I would just
my hand would just be kind of wet. But
who's the Howie Mandel? He always does the fist bump.
Oh, does
or
he?
Or the elbow thing, because he's like doesn't like touching people. He's got that whatever.
But even with the fist bump, like it would still be moist.
But only for a second.
Yeah.
And honestly, I've shooken enough hands to know that people just have wet hands to begin with.
Yeah, sometimes
so
you just have wet hands.
Yeah.
Not me. Mine are dry, but
that is not something that will kill you.
Right. And you could just wash your hands after.
Eat the last meal you had for every meal for the rest of your life.
No, that would be so depressing.
What did you have?
I had like a microwavable like chicken and broccoli dish.
I had a hot dog, so I would say that.
Ooh.
Yeah. Have a permanent itch in the middle of your back, which I have, and I don't like it. So I would rather eat a hot dog. And everybody who knows me knows how much I love hot dogs. So
well,
that worked out well for me.
I love eating just so much as an activity, so I would probably just use the itch. I would do the itch. I don't love it. I'm not gonna like it, but eating food is so good. I love eating food. And no, broccoli and chicken, good for you. Not a very exciting meal.
I follow a young lady on TikTok that has some sort of eating
disorder
problem. Not a disorder. Like she has something wrong with her system where she's allergic to everything.
Right, yeah.
And
like
so all she can
only eat like 10 foods.
She can't even eat 10. She can eat this formula stuff and oatmeal.
That's crazy.
And that's it. And so she's been going on this journey and people are giving her suggestions and it's really kind of fun to watch because she's taken it and turned it into waffles, pancakes. I mean, she will turn the oatmeal into flour and turn it into biscuits. And I mean,
fun.
she's all the different textures. She can't really, the taste is always going to be the same, but she can at least have fun with her air fryer and actually make food and have it be a different form of the same stuff. It's kind of fun, but that would not be.
No, that would be so sad. Yeah, I see a couple of people on TikTok like that, the woman who can only eat 10 foods. There's a woman who can only eat 3 foods.
Right.
And I'm just that's so sad.
Last year when I had that, whatever I had, I don't know what I had, but I was sick for 6 months and I couldn't the food noise was gone, which is great. But I'm so used to having constantly thinking about what I want to eat that nothing sounded good, nothing tasted good, nothing, all I ate was
that's
protein shakes and toddler squeeze food.
Oh yeah, the
because I had to eat I had to get vitamins and stuff. The little packets of applesauce that had the toddler. So I was getting enough.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. What is that called? Squeezables or
something like that. But it was the toddler version of whatever that was because I wanted to get more.
Go squeeze,
something like that.
Go squeeze.
Because it was the 2 things that I could just quickly ingest and not have to think about, and I would get calories and whatever. But I did miss the food noise.
I'm glad you're back then.
I'm definitely back.
Yay!
On track. Too much so.
Yeah, what did you have? Did you go to the doctor?
I did, and they tested all of the fluids that come out of my body, and nothing.
Oh.
But then I didn't really follow up on anything because then I got better and I could just pretend it didn't happen.
Oh. Yeah.
If it's not happening at the moment, I don't really care. It's in the past.
All right. Would you rather have a 25-pound ball and chain attached to your ankle, or always feel like you didn't sleep the night before?
I already feel like I didn't sleep the night before, so I'd rather take that. I don't want a ball and chain on me.
I don't either, but I also love feeling like I slept.
I know, but I can't remember the last time I woke up and be like, oh my God, I had way enough sleep. I feel great.
Yeah, I was just telling you how it's been really hard to get out of bed, and so that's why I'm
That does not get better as you get older, I'm just saying.
I know. And I don't know, I'm tempted to go with the ball and chain. Because
you really like sleep.
I really love sleep and food.
Would you rather never talk to your friends again?
Oh.
Or wear shoes that are 2 sizes too small?
I would just not wear shoes. I would not wear shoes.
I know you would never talk to you would never.
I
could never talk to my
I know
friends
you could. I couldn't. I have a lot of friends. I would be so sad if I had to stop talking to them. I would just not wear shoes. Loophole.
That's not how this game works.
Loophole.
We don't read the directions of the game.
No, we
I'm
did
sure
not.
There's rules about.
Excuse me. Hairball. What did you get?
Oh, is it my turn again?
Oh, is it?
Or is it your turn?
I don't remember.
Did I just do what? I just did the shoes and not talking to people.
And
to your friends.
Yeah, but I did the... Okay. So it's my
I
turn.
think it's your turn.
Okay. Would you rather permanently sound like you just inhaled helium?
Yes.
That would be funny. Or text your mom saying, help, and then don't speak to anyone in your family for a month.
My mom's dead, so I don't know that I could do that. Or my dad. We'll say dad.
Ouija board. Help, Mom.
What was the first one again? I liked it.
Permanently sound like you just inhaled helium. Yeah.
I would do that.
That would be...
Just say, Jennifer Tilly always sounds like she inhaled helium, and she made a good living off of it. So I love her. She's on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills now.
Oh.
And she's amazing on it if you ever want to catch a season. Do you want me to do one more and then we're done?
Yes. Okay. We can do probably one or two.
Never be able to drink plain water again.
Okay.
Be 3... I know. I should have just done this one first. Be 3 feet taller than you are. I know you'd rather be 3 feet taller, right?
I would, yeah. I'd be 5'4". All of 5'4".
3 feet taller.
Oh, wait.
You'd be 8.
Oh, 8 feet. Oh, gosh. I don't know if I want to be 8 feet tall. I don't know if I want to be 8 feet tall.
I don't know either.
I want to be a little bit taller than I am, but only to, like, make it easier for me to reach things.
I would rather be 3 feet because I like water. Plain or not.
Do you know what? I do like water, but I think if I could get, like, water from another, like, form of beverage and be okay, I would do that. I would do the never drink water again.
Instead of being taller?
Yeah, I don't want to be 8 feet tall. I don't want to be 8 feet tall.
Okay.
Would you want to be 8 feet tall?
Sure. What's the tallest person?
Like
8 feet?
Like 7, 8 or something like that. It was a like a Chinese basketball player, I think. He was really tall. I don't know if he's still with us or not, but
I wouldn't be able to drive my red car anymore, but...
No, you wouldn't be able to drive any car anymore. Wait.
I think the Mazda would be fine.
I hate driving, so maybe that's the thing. I physically can't fit in a car.
And I used to have a hard time finding pants long enough. I can't even imagine being 3 feet taller.
Oh my gosh.
I would have to start sewing.
Yeah, you would have to. No, again, that's a logistical nightmare. Yeah, water. I would just never drink water.
Okay.
What? KOS. Oh, it's 9. Okay, well, another episode of Molly Suter and the Other Girl has come to an end. Thank you very much for listening to us tonight. We had nobody in the chat room. Did nobody see our, like, promotions? Because we did promote that we were coming back. Did nobody care? It's a chance nobody cared.
That's all right. We'll be on next week, hopefully.
Yes. I believe we'll be on next week. So, thank you so much, and good night. You're listening to the Mighty 1630 KCJJ.
From the Hertine and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the Mighty